everyone, we wanted to do a quick shipping video for you to give you an idea of how the shipping works for an eBay store. We do have 19 orders going out for a total of $980.33. So we're going to go ahead and at the end we will give you what the net profit is after we have done all the shipping, because at that point we'll have a better total for you. All right, so the first item was this Peruvian collection dress. I just picked this up. This was $4, and we do, just because it really is, you know, not a big piece. I don't use a lot of bubble mailers, but we're going to put this in a bubble mailer just because it is a dress and nothing can break on it. So I go ahead and I slide it. I do get all the air out of this. And then I go ahead and just, you know, fold it over. It's we get these directly from eBay. They give us a discount on them. I move this over to the scale. These are not always uniform in size, so I do have to measure it because sometimes I folded at different angles. Okay, so this one's going to be 13 by, and you have to round up, 11. 13 by 11 by, I'm going to say 2. So 13 by 11, 2, and it weighs 13 ounces. So for the first item shipped, after fees and shipping right here, you'll see my order earnings are $28.25 less my cost of goods, which was $4. So my net profit will be $24.25 on this item. All right, next item is this little Vera Bradley purse. My cost of goods on this was $2. So I'm going to go ahead and use a bubble mailer. These Vera Bradley purses, they're not, you know, big sellers, but we do like it. And thank you so much to the nice viewer that bought this. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the air out of it just so it's nice in there. I've got a nice little thing. And like I said, you know, these sizes are not always uniform, so I do have to measure each one. This one is going to be 11 by 11 by, I'm going to say 2. So 11 by 11 by 2. I put it right on the scale like that. And you can see that that's about, I have to round it up to 9 ounces. All right, so you can see with this item, my order earnings were $9.73. My cost of goods was $2, and that means my net profit for this purse was $7.73. All right, so the next item is a really nice Kate Spade purse and a Brooks Brothers purse. This is actually going to the same viewer. Thank you so much. So she's going to get a few items from me this week. It's going to go in a 14 by 14 by 3 box. I always put a little bit of peanuts in there to kind of just, you know, keep it nice and simple so it's not rubbing around. It doesn't need much. It fits really good. I also have a coupon that I put in with my sales that so she can use for next time. And then we're going to get it all taped up. So it's nice and clean. And so, you know, purses like this, I won't put those in any kind of a bubble mailer. They always go in a box. You know, I don't want them to show up all damaged. So, yeah, this one's going to go in a nice box. I'm going to make sure it's taped down. This new tape is pretty good, but sometimes I want to make sure it's pressed down real good so it doesn't come apart. Okay. And then I'm just going to drop it right on the scale here. So that is going to be 3 pounds, 5 ounces, and the box is a 14 by 3. All right, so this next order is going to a viewer. Thank you so much. You can see right there, the order total after fees and shipping is $65.01. My cost of goods was $18. So my net profit was $47.01 on these 2 items. And we do save a little bit of shipping when 2 items go to a customer. So the next item is this really cute little Coach wristlet and this and that. I did note that it does, some of the silver is coming off on the things, and I always do that in my listings to make sure my listings are accurate. I always put things in a plastic bag, even though it's going in a bubble mailer. I do that to protect the pieces. I don't want anything to be, you know, ruined, especially knowing the post office. So I always give it an extra protective wrapping. I'll slide it into the bubble mailer. And I'm going to go ahead and get the plastic off of this. And then I am going to fold it over because, you know, I can make it, oh, if it's going to come off, here, Carl's going to have to help me out with that one. Okay. So then I fold it over in half. I get all the air out of it. This is obviously going to be a smaller one. I take my measuring tape and I'm going to go ahead and give this one a measure. And the measure on this one is going to be, it's going to be 10. I'm going to do 10 by 7 by 2. So 10, 7, 2.
And this one is one that we got from Amazon.
Yes, this is an Amazon mailer. So I did buy those in bulk also. So 10 by 7 by 2.
4 ounces.
And it's 4 ounces. So on the little Coach wristlet, my order earnings after fees and shipping was $12.76. My cost of goods was $3. My net profit was $9.76. So my next item right here is this little Coach. It's kind of like a card holder, wallet, cell phone case. So I'm going to put this one in a bubble mailer, and I do put it in the plastic again. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I am going to fold this up smaller. Carl's going to grab it so it doesn't, the little sticky thing, so it doesn't stick to my hand. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure all the air is out of it. I'm going to grab my measuring tape and I'm going to actually take a measurement of this. It's going to be 9 by 6 by 2. I'm going to say 9 by 6 by 2. So that one's right there. And it weighs 6 ounces. All right, so this Coach little wristlet wallet case right there, I did earn $16, or after fees and shipping, I was left with $16.24. My cost of goods was $3.50. So that means my net profit was going to be $12.74. $12.74. So this is a real pretty Pendleton women's vest. It's got like snowflakes on it. I am going to put it in a box just because it is a little bit bigger in size. So I'm going to fold it up. Like I said, I always put them in the plastic just in case. You know, I always think that if it gets left on the front porch, at least, you know, if it rains or something, this way it'll stay nice in there. And then I have a little 10 by 10 by 5 box. I am going to stick my little coupon in there, and I do try to remember those coupons. I'm going to put a little bit of peanuts in there. It probably doesn't need it, obviously, because it's not going to break. So I'm going to go ahead and close that up. Got the tape on there. This is my most commonly used box, a 10 by 10 by 5, in case I haven't said that before. So there we go. I'm going to drop it on the scale, and it weighs 1 pound and 8 ounces. All right, so this Pendleton vest, after fees and shipping, I was left with $15.43. My cost of goods was $7, and my net profit was $8.43. All right, so this next little guy is the bracelet that I just picked up at the jewelry sale on the 4th of July. It's going to go in a little 6 by 6 box. I'm going to go ahead and add some peanuts to it. This one is going to go all the way to California. So then I'm going to put some more peanuts in there. I do have one of my coupons in there. It kind of fits a little funny, but that's okay. I'll get it wedged in there. That'll work. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one taped up. All right, I'm going to drop it on the scale. It's a 6 by 6 by 6 box, and it is 8 ounces. So that's a little one. This is the one I just picked up on the 4th of July. It was a very quick sale. They did pay $125 for this. After fees and shipping, I was left with $102. My cost of goods was $35, and my net profit was $67. All right, so the next item that sold was this Magnalite pan. I actually sell a lot of Magnalite. I love it. I always take the lids and I put them in a bubble mailer, even though it's not going to break. I just, with the rattling around, I really don't want the lid, the plastic on the lid to get damaged. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in a bubble mailer. There it is. So I've got that out of the way. I did use a 15 by 10 by 6 box. And I'm going to put some peanuts in there, just like I said. This is a pan. It's not a big one, but I don't like them to rattle too much in there. I did put my coupon in there, so my pan fits in there really nicely. I'm just going to put a bunch of peanuts in there right now. Then I'm going to leave myself some room, and I'm just going to put the pan in there upside down, the lid. Sorry, just the lid. And then I'm going to put a little bit more just to keep it nice and firm, and that'll do it. Like I said, this isn't going to break, but it is nice just to make sure that it's not going to, you know, damage the box and fall out. So there's my method for these. And yes, I do this a lot. That's why the tape moves so quickly. Okay, and I'm gonna drop it on the scale, 1510 by 6, and I'm gonna move the scale out just to make sure I have enough room, and I always make sure it resets to 0. And this box is 3.6 pounds. All right, my next item is the Wagnerware Magnalite pan. After fees and shipping, I was left with $19.34. They did pay $33.29 for it. After my cost of goods was $2, my net profit was $17.34. All right, so I'm working right now on a drill. We do have this in a 12 by 10 by 6 box. I do put a little bit of peanuts in there, and I'm just it is missing its chuck key. We always note that in the title or in the description. So I'm just going to top it off with some peanuts right here. You know, just get it nice in there. My little coupon is in there for the next purchase. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this taped up. And I may put a little extra tape on this just because it is a heavier item. And, you know, like I said, I don't want the boxes coming apart in shipment. So I will put a little extra tape on this one. All right, that's it, 12, 10, 6. I'm gonna drop it right on the scale. And I do expect it to be a little heavier. 5 pounds, 11 ounces. All right, so they did pay $48.59 for the drill. After fees and shipping, I was left with $32.11. My cost of goods was $5. My net profit was $27.11. So the next item is this really pretty Spode Christmas mug. I do have a bubble wrap up here that I use for all the breakables and the glass. And you know from my videos that I do ship a lot of glass. I always put a piece of paper inside the cup. It just kind of helps with keeping it nice and solid. And then I go ahead and I wrap it in the bubble mailer, or the bubble wrap, sorry. When I'm shipping, my mind is always so focused. So then I'll get this wrapped up. Usually most of my coffee mugs, it's usually the way I do it is they always will go in an 8 by 8 by 8 box. So whenever I'm doing my listings, I know to just always put them in an 8 by 8 by 8 box. And usually the weight on them is about 3 pounds, give or take. Obviously all the coffee mugs and things like that will be different, but I usually put 8 by 8 by 8, 3 pounds. And then I do weigh them to see if they're more or less, just to make sure that is accurate. So I've got this guy wrapped up really good. He's nice and safe in there. I'm going to grab my peanuts. I do always put a layer down in there. And then I go ahead and I'll put the mug in. And this one might be a little bit tall to put in straight up and down. So I'm going to put this one in at an angle. I'm going to put my little coupon in there as usual. Put some more peanuts in there. I'm going to close this up. And there's one extra step that I do with my glass pieces. After I go ahead and put the tape on this, I have fragile stickers, and I use those for my glass pieces. I don't know if it works or not with the post office, but it's just a habit I have. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab a couple of these. I usually grab 2 or 3. I would like people to know that, these are breakable. So if they see their post office guy chucking it and they can see the stickers on it, that they'll be, wait a minute, that's not good. So I'm going to drop this right on the scale, and I already know it's an 8 by 8 by 8. It is 1 pound, 9 ounces. All right, so on the Spode mug, you can see after fees and shipping, I earned, I was left with $10.16. Cost of goods was $1. Net profit is $9.16. All right, so this is a pair of soft shoes. The box I'm using is a 12 by 6 by 6. So I'm gonna go ahead and I always put these in the plastic. My reasoning is in case they have buckles or anything on it, I don't want it in the packaging to go ahead and scratch up the other shoe. Once again, the plastic just keeps it nice and safe in case it rains or gets left outside. I do use some peanuts to go ahead and fill this up. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my coupon right on the top. We'll get this guy taped up. Alrighty. Oh, and the tape rolled back again. This new kind of tape though, it comes right up. Like you don't have to fight with it to get it to unroll if it rolls back. So I do kind of like that. I'm not sure it sticks as great, but it's nice not losing a roll of tape when you have to go back and get it to unwrap. So that's kind of nice. Alrighty, we're gonna drop this on our scale, and that weighs 1 pound, 13 ounces. All right, these soft pair of shoes, after fees and shipping, I was left with $22.62. My cost of goods was $8. My net profit was $14.62. All right, so this next one is this really nice, this is actually ceramic Spode Friggy, so it's got the lid and you can put this in the refrigerator. I believe it's microwave safe as well. So these are really nice. I like the ceramic ones. Obviously it's breakable, so I am going to wrap it in some bubble wrap. It's not plastic, so it needs to be protected. I already have a 10 by 10 by 5 box set up, and you know, this one isn't difficult. I'm just gonna give it a wrap around and get it taped up. Okay, I'll need a little bit of peanuts for that, just like a nice layer on the bottom, just to give it a little extra protection because it is, you know, breakable. And I'm gonna put it in there, and I'll put my coupon in, and then I'm gonna just fill up the surroundings, and I'm gonna tuck it in a little bit just to make sure that the peanuts are good and in there. Make sure we just have a little layer on the top there, and the box closes nicely. So there we go. It's a 10 by 10 by 5. And once again, because it's breakable, I will get my little fragile stickers out, you know, as part of my glass process, because I believe this one is actually going a long way. So I want to make sure it's good and protected. All right, grab a couple fragile stickers right off of here.
Where'd you get the fragile stickers?
I believe the fragile stickers were an Amazon purchase. I go through, you know, a lot of these because I do ship glass. So usually a couple stickers on each box. So I'm going to drop this on the scale, and it weighs 2 pounds, 12 ounces. All right, so on the Spode Friggy, after fees and shipping, I was left with $9.54. My cost of goods was $2. Net profit was $7.54. All right, so this next item is a VCR. This was actually ours. So there's not going to be any cost of goods on this.
Well, it's a DVD player, technically.
Oh, sorry, it's a DVD. Carl had to correct me. You know who bought this. Okay, so one of the things about these is I can tell you is they always sell better if you have the remotes. So if you are upgrading yours and you're going to get rid of it, some of these have some very good value. I do always check to make sure there's no corrosion in the battery compartment. But the remote is really what sells these machines right here. So obviously this is going to get a little bit of a wrap up. I always put the remote in a bubble mailer just because the last thing I want is for the heavy box to go ahead and hit the remote and break it, because the remotes are plastic. So I'm going to go ahead and get that sealed up like that, and that's all done. So now I'm gonna have to go ahead and get my bubble wrap out and give it a nice little coat of bubble wrap. All right, so for the bulkier items like this DVD player, we did put it in the heavier bubble wrap, and I do have heavier bubble wrap over there. I did put a nice layer of peanuts in the bottom. And this, we know this box works really good for this size, so we're just gonna go ahead and drop that in. I'm gonna go ahead and just drop in the remote control. And then I'm gonna top it off. There's my little coupon. I'm gonna top it off with the peanuts. I know that this is gonna be a little bit heavier. So, you know, VCRs, you have to make sure they sell for a decent amount because they are going to be more expensive to ship, just to let you know. So I think that should just about do it for that guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this folded up here. Get my tape on there, and I am gonna put fragile stickers on this also, just because, you know, it makes me feel better to know that I did that and that I took care of it. All right, so I am going to put some fragile stickers on this one, even though it's not glass. I want them to be careful with it. So I've got my stickers on there. This is a bigger box, so I'm gonna have to move the scale out a little bit. This is a 20 by 16 by 6, and I do expect it to weigh quite a bit. So we're looking at about 10 pounds, 1 ounces. All right, so on this item, after fees and shipping, I was left with $72.22. This was our item, so there is no cost of goods. So my net profit is gonna be $72.22. All right, so I did pick up these two little guys. It's really hot out here right now, so I'm just gonna show you the remainder of the items. A lot of them are breakable, so I'm just gonna show you what we picked up, and I will come back later on when it's cooler, and I'll tell you after I've, shipped everything, what my totals were. So these are a little pair of Joseph Originals. All right, so these cute little elves sold. After fees and shipping, I was left with $82.17. My cost of goods was only $10, and my net profit was $72.17. This next item is a vintage gold spaghetti Santa that sold, and I will come back later and tell you for how much. So the next item, the vintage spaghetti Santa, after fees and shipping, I was left with $14.96. My cost of goods was $5, and my net profit was $9.96. This was another one of my breakables. This Christopher Radko Neiman Marcus ornament sold. All right, the Radko Neiman Marcus department store. After fees and shipping, I was left with $27.24. Cost of goods was $1, so my net profit was $26.24. This Sew It Yourself cat pillow also sold. It's vintage new old stock. So this video is about to come out. This is where I picked up all the needlepoint and sewing items. After fees and shipping, I was left with $8.03. Cost of goods on this was $1, so my net profit was $7.03. And yes, some more of the Arabia Finland sold. Two of the oven bakers sold. So both of those are going to the same person. All right, these next two items were part of the Arabia Finland haul. After fees and shipping, I was left with $48.23. They did buy 2 pieces. So after my net profit on that was going to be $46.23, and I saved a little on shipping. And it does seem like every week I have Jim Shore, and here's another. This is the Irish Jim Shore. This one sold. All right, so we have another Jim Shore Santa. After fees and shipping, I was left with $12.36, and my cost of goods was $2. My net profit was $10.36. Hi everyone, Short Girl Picker here. I just wanted to take a minute and thank everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to visit the eBay store, you can actually find that in the description down below. If you haven't gone over to the Short Girl Flipper channel, that's the What Sold channel. So if you like those videos, you can head over there. Please like and subscribe on that one as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.